Hey everybody, it's John, the author of the ABC Photo Guide, and today I want to share some of the insights from my book. I know we're coming up towards Christmas, and some of you might be looking for some ideas on gifts to give. So actually, why not one of the books? For those of you that don't know what the book is about, it is a photo guide, so pretty much a newbie photographer's resource kit. So somebody who wants to get into the photo industry and just needs a little snippets of some help, that's what the book is for. And what I'm going to do over the next 3 days is I'm going to go through the entire book through video with you guys, and I'm going to share it with you all. And so before we get started, you might be wondering, who is this guy and why did he write this book and what does he know about photography? Well, so let me tell you, I started back in photography in 2005. I have a company, it's called PhotoWorks. It's F-O-T-O-W-R-X. The website got hacked, so there's nothing there, but you can see some of my client files. If you just go to photoworks.com, it takes you to my proofing site. You can see some of my work. I am primarily a wedding and portrait photographer. I love photographing people. I'm not too big on buildings or inanimate objects like jewelry or anything like that. I'm all about people. I like to make that connection, and I really love, getting the best and the expressions out of people. So I put this book together back in 2012 just as a kit for some people who are looking for a little bit of a heads up on getting into the market and different things that you need to learn. There's so much. Photography is like huge. And over the last 10 years, well, 11 years now, I've really taken and put a lot of things together that I've learned, because there's so much. There's just so much. And really, you could spend a lifetime learning about photography. It's not about just picking up your camera and just shooting. It's really understanding composition. It's understanding how to bring and elicit feedback from people. It's about connecting and connecting with your subject to get the best out of that person. The way I see it, and the one lesson I got taught to me a long time ago by a great mentor and coach, was every photo should be taken as though it were the last photo. And what I mean by that is, if you think about funerals, and I don't know about your culture and religion, but I'm Catholic, and when we go to the funeral, the one thing that you always have is you have a picture of the deceased that's sitting there. And this year was really one of those years where I got to see some of the photos that I've taken become that last photo. And it's the last thing that people see, so why wouldn't you want to do it well? And what was interesting is, as I was going through the line and, passing on my condolences to the family, I got stopped and somebody said, hey, thank you for that photo. It's them, it's their character, it's their smile, and people could really get a sense of who they are. And really, that's my purpose in doing photography, is really to capture the essence of people in the moment. So there you go. That's me in a nutshell. There's a lot more, but I'm not going to try to bore you with all the different things I'm going to talk about. But what I'm going to do this week is I'm going to go and I'll jump in a few times today, and I'm going to talk about the ABC Photo Guide and what it is. So the way I wrote it is through ABC. So A is about automatic and learning how to photograph in automatic mode. And if you are a starting photographer, this is a great way to learn how to use the camera settings on your camera. And so using auto, and it's usually the little green dial, depending on what you shoot on, either Canon or Nikon. Personally, I shoot on Canon, and I've been shooting on Canon for a long time. Actually, since the beginning, because everybody else had Canon gear, so I just shared equipment with them. So you put your camera into automatic mode, and you look at the settings on your camera. And if you take your photograph and it's perfectly lit and everything looks right, exposure-wise and everything, it's great. So mark down the settings. Take your camera into M or manual. Some people call it master, and this is actually one way to really get there. You take the settings, you input them into your camera, and you start getting familiar with the dials. So you look at your ISO, you look at your aperture, you look at your exposure, and you make sure that everything's set in manual mode, and make sure that it comes out the same way it did in automatic. So what that allows you to do now is you can start tweaking individual settings. You can tweak the ISO, you can tweak the aperture, you can tweak the shutter, and like that you start getting familiar with all the different dials and all the different things that you can do. So there you go. There is A. A is for automatic, a great way to learn if you are getting into photography. If you want the book, it is available on Amazon. It's just ABC Photo Guide by John Ribeiro. The ebook version is only a few bucks. I think it's like $5. There's also a hard copy version if you want one similar to what I have in my hand. You can also grab that. Anyway, so that is my tip right now for A is for awesome, A is for automatic actually. And hopefully you have an awesome day, and I will talk to you all later. All right, bye.